It is said that the period that forms a man's life with regards to his profession, character, temperament, cycle of friends, and all those elements that build up who a man becomes is that period when he transits from adolescence to manhood. This usually is a period when most people are in secondary school. The bonds formed at this time are always so strong, and memories of this period seldom fade in a man's mind. In this edition of Uncensored by Kids Homeland, we brought in Dr. Alex Ifeanyichukwu, former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to King's College, his alma mater, where he reminisced on his days as a student and spoke of his educational journey, foray into politics, his love life, his love for sports, and many other issues. This interview is indeed uncensored.
Hello, you are welcome to Dr. Alex Ifeanyichukwu Uncensored, brought to you by Kids Homeland. Alex, as is fondly called by his close King's College friends, is an acronym for an adorable leader with extraordinary X-ray vision. So today, it's a rare opportunity for you to call 83-year-old Dr. Ekwueme Alex. And you're free to call him, because you now know the acronym, you're free to call him Alex today, just for today. So today's questions have been built by the students of King's College. And we will start with the school captain making his introductory statement.
Floret, sir. My name is Adaun Victor. I am school captain, King's College, Lagos, 2015-2016 session. I have here with me Zubat Oib, SS2. I have Kumbe Tumabari, SS2. I have Chukuma Emmanuel, SS2. I have Mohammed Sherif, SS1. I have Audu Ehi, SS2. Dandak Shedrak, SS1. Abba Musa, SS1. I have Anima Shaun Ridwan, SS2. I have Umbachuku Emeka, SS2. Also Uyuta Omo, SS1. And the SRC President, Student Representative Council President, Aju Daniel, SS3. So it's a privilege that we have you in our midst this afternoon, and we are very grateful that you were able to make it. What we have come here to do is just get knowledge from you as an outstanding old boy, because we are still students, and we'll soon, some of us here, about 2 of us will soon be leaving King's College. And the questions we have put together are to give us a new insight as to how life really is outside King's College. Some questions are pertaining to your life in King's College, and so on and so forth. In summary, sir, we have come here to learn, and we say a very big thank you.
Thank you very much, school captain and King's College students. I'm happy to be here with you today. Last time I was here in a classroom like this, must have been about June 9th, 1950. That's 66 years ago. So I'm happy to be back and to see that you are all looking sharp and bright, as King's College boys should look and be. We'll have an opportunity today to exchange ideas and for me to reminisce on some of the things we went through during our time here at King's College, Lagos. I started here on officially January 4, 1945. That's when school started officially. I was late. I came in about a week after school had started because I had a mishap at the railway station in Enugu. One of them made away with my railway ticket. So we had to wait until I got a replacement ticket to travel with. And the journey then from Enugu to Lagos to Ido by train was 3 days and 3 nights. Because we had to go up from Enugu up to Kaduna Junction and then change coaches and then go on the limited down a train from Kaduna Junction to Ido terminus in Lagos. By the time I got to the school, and at that time it was during the Second World War, and this place, this permanent site of the school was occupied by the military, the Royal West Africa Frontier Force. So the school was temporarily quartered at Onikon by McGregor Canal back in George V Road. So by the time I got to Onikon to report, all the other classmates of mine had reported in time to start school on January 4. There were 25 of us admitted that year, 25. So in my absence, there were 24 who reported. And those 24 were shared 6 to each of the 4 houses. So I was the only one who had the privilege of choosing my own house.
I'm sure Zubair Tohib will be happy. He had already asked that how was schooling in the colonial era like, and I'm sure the answers you've gotten more than you probably expected you will get. But Umba Chukwuemeka wants to know what roles did King's College play in your journey that ultimately led to being vice president?
Yes, I think first and foremost, I've already mentioned the fact that I grew up as a Nigerian because our class was a mini Nigeria and the school itself was a mini Nigeria. And at that time the school was small. I think the maximum number of students we had while I was there was 146. So you knew everybody in the school. And that helped in your upbringing as a Nigerian. That's one. Secondly, you learned to play by the rules. Sportsmanship was inculcated into the mind of all kinsmen. You didn't have a choice of participation. Every day on the notice board, wrote out the teams that would play during the football season. 2 teams. One would start at 3:30 and the other at 4:30. And they would put the names of the students in their positions. The goalkeeper, the right fullback, the left fullback, the center, 3 centers, and the 5 forwards. Now they answer different names. So midfielder, striker, and defender. At that time we just had goalkeeper, back, center, and forwards. And whenever your name appeared, you showed up. If your name appeared and you didn't show up, it was a very serious offense that would attract punishment. So you had no choice but to be a sportsman. One set would play at 3:30 and move. The next one at 4:30. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So by the time you finish, every one of the 146 students would have been put up to play at least once. One game of football during the week. Same thing during hockey season and cricket. So sportsmanship is a very important ingredient in the upbringing of a whole man. You don't go to make your search for anything a do or die affair.
Speaking of sportsmanship, Real One Animation had asked that do you encourage vocational skills? You've answered that. You probably will also want to know if you were never vice president, what sportsman will you be? Will you be a footballer? Will you be a basketballer? Or which other sports do you think you will have excelled in?
I would have been a good tennis player because At that time, the team for tennis consisted of only 6 students. Whereas cricket, had cricket 11, football 11, hockey 11, Gra Cup, a large crowd in different areas. But for tennis, it was just 6 students. And we used to play mixed doubles with Queen's College girls. So you might say that even here, even at King's, tennis was an elitist type of sport. And people are surprised that at age 3 I still play tennis singles, yes. Not only that I play, I'm an addict at supporting tennis. Now, for the last 5 years, this year we're making the 5th year in a row that I would have been at Wimbledon ladies finals live, not watching on television.
You just talked about 2 things. You talked about Queen's College and you talked about the Wimbledon ladies final. And Ovubude Eyi here says, can you tell us about your relationship with the Queen's College girls during your time as a King's College boy?
From our first day at King's, we were taught that the Queen's College girls were sisters. And the principal of Queen's College at that time was a very sophisticated, educated lady, a doctor, PhD, Dr. Whitaker, and she encouraged interaction between the Queen's College girls and King's College boys. And our chapel at Tonicon, where we were then, had a choir made up of King's College boys and Queen's College girls. And at that time, they were just around the corner at Onicon, next to the Onicon Tennis Club, opposite, in fact, where we have a Catholic secretariat. That was part of Queen's College.
Dandak Shedrack wants to also know if, as an aspiring leader, how can he develop his aspirations to become a vice president or a president or even a senior leader in a political office or a business leader? What are the practical steps Dandak Shedrack can take?
The practical steps are that you have to make an effort to get into leadership. You will not stay in your house and have leadership presented to you on a platter of gold. If you want to be a political leader, you have to decide where you want to go from the ground up, which is the usual way in developed countries. You can start by aspiring to be a councillor to represent your community, your ward, your local council ward. Now, in the local council ward is a small unit. And if you are somebody who's made a mark, either in your business or in your profession, and you have a good character, and you're respected by your community, it should not be too difficult to win an election and become a councillor representing your local council ward. From being a councillor, next time, after having experience as a councillor, you might try to be chairman or deputy chairman of the local government itself. And after that, you can try for a seat in the State House of Assembly, which is a small constituency again. From there, having garnered experience and having made your mark, you can then try to move on to the House of Representatives at the national level, from there to the Senate, or even to aspire to be a governor of the state. And if you succeed as a governor or a senator, you could move on to become a vice president or a president.
Abba Musa wants to know, he asked a trick question. He says, that as Vice President of Nigeria, what was your vision for Nigeria, and has that vision been sustained?
No, my vision for Nigeria was that we should be a nation. Because, as I keep saying all the time, we are not a nation. We are, in fact, what Chihuahua called us in his book, Part Nigerian Freedom, we are a mere geographical expression. That's how I will describe Nigeria. In the sense that there is no no spirit of Nigerian nationhood in 90-something% of the Nigerian citizens. People don't think themselves first as Nigerians. Although the Constitution says that national integration should be encouraged, and national integration is a policy under the Constitution, but national integration will not fall down from heaven. You have to work. You have to work for it. Surprisingly, as I always say, we in Nigeria were not a nation, but our neighbor, Ghana, with whom we were under the British West Africa, Ghana is a nation. Type of things that happen in Nigeria will not happen in Ghana, because the average Ghanaian sees himself as a Ghanaian. They have a Ghanaian spirit of nationhood. We don't quite have a Nigerian spirit of nationhood. And we have to cultivate it and build it. And I was surprised and happy to hear the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, saying a week or two ago that the first thing that should be done is to remove the question of indigenship from our vocabulary and depend on residency. If we are going to be Nigerian citizens, then have residency qualifications. But once you emphasize indigenship, then you can never have a nation. I think I was surprised and pleased that he was saying that, because these were some of the things we were canvassing in 1994-95 at the Constitutional Conference, which both of us attended, and which he opposed vehemently at that time. But it's good that he has had a change of heart, and now accepts also that we should have a true federalism, and there should be adequate power in the hands of the federating units, and not just make them an extension of the national government. So, as I said, I'm not happy that the question of having a Nigerian nation has not been realized, and I pray that it will be realized in my lifetime. Unless that is done, we'll keep going from one crisis to another.
Aju Daniel asks that, with all that is going on in the economy, what role does philanthropy have to play in the economic growth of Nigeria?
Well, philanthropy will contribute to economic growth of the country, insofar as that philanthropy is directed at development of human capital and development of structures that will enhance gainful employment for able-bodied Nigerian citizens. Very important, because philanthropy is a mark of maturity. Philanthropy and contentment are two ingredients that are essential to adequate human development. If you are contented with what you have, and you don't have the acquisitive instinct to try and get more and more and more for yourself at the expense of others, then you will live a happy life, and you will not suffer unnecessary stress, because after all, there's a limit to what one man can do with material resources. If you have a fleet of 10 cars, what does it avail you? You can only be in one car at a time, and in that one car you can only be sitting on one seat. You cannot sit in the driver's seat and sit on the passenger seats. So having 10 cars is madness. Same thing with houses. People who will have 5 houses, they want more and more and more and more. At the end of the day, you can only live in one house and occupy one room at a time, sleep on one bed at a time, and on that bed you sleep on one half of the bed, one part of the bed. If you start going from one part of the bed to the other, tossing back and forth, it's time to call a doctor.
Speaking about resources, in one of your books you had written that you had lost your father at a very young age.
Yes.
How did that impact who you eventually became in life? And thinking back about the family you came out from, what was the most important message you learned from your parents?
Mm-hmm. I was 9 years and 3 months old when my father died. And my father was a church teacher, what you call a catechist or evangelist, under the CMS mission, as the Anglican Church. At that time, we had a present Anambra state. We had ordained priests, managing churches only at Onisha, Oka, Agoro, and Ufuma, 4 stations. All the other churches were manned by people like my father, who were not ordained as priests, but went to training, underwent training in church administration and the process of conducting church services. So, and the pay those catechists had at the time was very, very low. I think my father, from records, was earning 7 shillings and 6 pence, which actually a month, which in at the official exchange rate, when we move from pounds and shillings to naira, would be 75 kobo a month. That's 4 pounds, 10 shillings a year. And there was no way he could look after himself, our mother, and all of us children on that income. So, all these catechists, because they were in charge of mission stations, and the mission acquired land, so they were also farmers. They cultivated vast areas of land and practically produced all the food they ate. And the church members helped them to do work on the farm, to produce yam, cocoyam, legume, vegetables, and so on, maize. So they depended on what they produced. Now, when my father died, there were 4 of us, his children, alive. My elder brother was already in secondary school at the Danish Grammar School on Onitsha. again, because he was the son of a church agent, as you're called, the bishop and the Niger Commission took him under his wings, and he was one of the bishop's boys who helped serve at table and clean up the house and had a room. So he had free accommodation and free meals, and did not pay tuition fees because the school was an Anglican school, so they exempted them from paying school fees. I and my two younger brothers were in primary school, and at the time my dad died, our mother was pregnant, and 3 months, 15 months, February 7, May 20, just over 3 months after I died, it was one of twin girls, who of course didn't survive much because of very harsh and difficult conditions we went through. But because of the experience we had, I learned at an early age that there was no alternative to hard work. I had to work very hard, help my mother on the farm, and eventually when I left my mother, I began to live with my aunt. I was the only one living with her. I helped with all the housework and helped with work on the farm. So I cultivated the habit of hard work at a very early age.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
For being part of this edition of Uncensored, brought to us by Kids Homeland. At 83 years old, so many people say, perhaps this is the end of the journey for Alex Ifeanyichukwu. But today we can see that perhaps this is not the end. Neither is it the beginning of the end. But for Alex Ifeanyichukwu, it is the end of the beginning. Thank you so much to King's College. Thank you so much to the students, to the principal, and all stakeholders for being part of this lovely edition of Uncensored by Kids Homeland. Thank you.
Quite a story to tell, and what an encouragement to the students who spent time with the 83-year-old boy of their school and former Vice President of Nigeria. These young men have been fired up to aspire to great heights as Dr. Ekwueme, who comes from a humble background, through dint of hard work and focus, rose to being the second citizen of Nigeria. His presence and talk indeed has sparked a flame of hope and determination in the minds of these young men to become very successful in future.